Welcome to What's Brewing with IAT Insurance Group, where episode after episode we cover the latest marketplace trends with subject matter experts who are fueling our mission to provide insurance answers together. Grab your cup and let's settle in.
Hi, I'm Taylor Evans, and welcome to What's Brewing. I'm a manager of marketing and communications at IAT, and I'm excited to welcome some of my Surety colleagues to the podcast. Brianna Arevalo and Ryan Pappas, who both serve as associate underwriters in our Surety group at IAT. Thank you both for joining me today. Typically on What's Brewing, we cover the many topics and trends impacting the lines we serve. But today, we're going to discuss a trend impacting our entire industry, the talent crisis. So definitely not something that's unique to insurance. It's plaguing the surety industry as well. According to the Insurance Journal, in the next 15 years, we can expect 50% of the current workforce to retire, which means 400,000 vacancies in our industry. So our goal today, by sharing your experience, Ryan and Brianna, is to really bring awareness to the abundance of opportunity in this space. So to our listeners, if you've ever wondered what a career in surety could look like, this episode is a nice answer to that. So before we dive into the surety of it all, I really wanted to ask you both really what your dream job was when you were growing up. Often when we're kids, that's definitely not insurance or surety. I myself wanted to be an actress, and for the better, that didn't work out for me. I found myself here in insurance. So just curious, Brianna, if you could share what your childhood dream was.
Yeah, so I actually swore I was going to be a vet. I love animals, but just the thought of having to go to vet school after undergrad and then, having to see animals be put down, it just wasn't really something that resonated with me. So I went to the business department and I became a business major, and I graduated with my bachelor's in business administration. And here I am. I didn't really have a plan set out aside from, I really loved animals and I wanted to be a vet. So
I hear you. How about you, Ryan?
Growing up, insurance wasn't necessarily my dream job. I wanted to be a professional soccer player, but here we are now. So how did that pan out?
Are you looking forward to the World Cup next year?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Gonna go to some games in North America?
Hopefully, if I get some tickets.
Well, I mean, those all sound like beautiful dreams, but we're so grateful to have you here with us. And in the surety industry itself, to your point, Brianna, it's not necessarily something that we plan for even at the age of like college when we're actually charting our path for the future. So I would love for you both to kind of level set the audience for me who may not know what surety is, since it's very different than insurance, but somehow still in the same family. So I was hoping that maybe you could give me a 101 breakdown of what services surety carriers provide and just what it is. So Ryan, do you want to kick us off there?
Yeah, sure. Well, we look out for and we protect the public's interest. Surety bonds are used to guarantee construction contracts. When our government spends money to pay for improvements, like fixing a road or building a school, the government wants to make sure they get what they paid for. This bond guarantees that. This bond also guarantees that material suppliers and subcontractors are going to get paid for their contributions.
That's awesome. So keep things up and moving. Brianna, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, so I think you kind of nailed it, Ryan. I just wanted to add also the main difference between insurance and surety is that with insurance, they are expecting to pay for losses, and that's what the premiums are meant for, to cover expenses and losses. Whereas surety, you're underwriting with the assumption that your principal will fulfill their obligation with no losses. And that's the main difference. So the premiums for a surety bond are pretty small, but they're not meant with the expectation to have a loss, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, so you never want to see an accountant claim is what I'm hearing, as opposed to the expectation that happens in insurance, right?
Right, which is why it's such a big deal for us to cross our T's and dot our I's when you're underwriting a surety bond, because it's not insurance whatsoever. And there's the three parties as well, whereas insurance is just the insurer and the insured, and surety is the principal, the obligee, and the surety themselves.
Right. Yeah. Thank you both. That was a really nice overview. I would love to know what drew you to the industry. It sounds like you have to be super detail oriented to be successful, which is a great skill set to have for any career. But why surety?
Yeah, so I, like many other people who, talk about how they got into the industry, had no idea what surety was. Even throughout my interview process, I was still confused on what it was that I was interviewing for. But I did know somebody who was in the industry. They were a year above me, so they did give me a good understanding of how important it is for young professionals to start to gain knowledge on surety itself. And with that, I think the job security is huge for surety. The unemployment rate is slim to none. And I think it's a really niche kind of job. If you are a business major, I like the fact that it kind of plays a little bit on the analytical role and marketing and being able to talk to people. So that's what kind of drew me to the industry.
Yeah. How about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking. What really drew me to this industry was I was looking for a career in finance with a good work-life balance. Surety underwriting, it's dynamic and you're constantly learning. I also wanted a career where every day I'm not doing the same thing. In surety, we wear multiple different hats and handle a variety of problems. I would think of us like a Swiss Army knife.
I love that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I think that's another big part of our job is we're not doing the same thing every single day. We have a desk job, yeah, but we also, we want to go meet our brokers, our clients. So it keeps things fresh.
Yeah, I think those are all really strong points. And one thing that's what I love about my job too on the insurance side of the house is that no day is the same, right? That's what keeps things interesting and keeps us excited about the material that comes to our desk. But one thing that I think is super unique about you all is the relationship piece. And it's true for insurance too. But it's really strong as well on the surety side, which I admire about that profession, both internally within your company, but also in the marketplace. And in our case, the independent agents that we work with. What would you say has kept you interested? I mean, you're both still early on in your careers. What keeps you in surety right now, Ryan?
Well, for me, it's again, every day I'm working on something new or doing something different. It really keeps things interesting. It not only makes me more well-rounded as an underwriter, but really it makes me more well-rounded as a person too.
Yeah. How about you, Brianna?
I also like the idea that every day is kind of different, but I think the reoccurring theme with people who are asked this question is the people that they work with. And I know it's really corny to say, but it truly is one of the best parts of my job. Aside from just my team in the office, I've met some great, competition underwriters from different companies, some great brokers. A lot of them are much older than me. And so I do gain a lot of information from them. The knowledge is huge that I gain from them. So I think it just makes my job a lot more pleasurable and a little bit less like a job.
Yeah, I love that. It's so important. And we're also in the people business in more ways than one. It's the people that we provide our services to, but it's also the people who help us do it both internally and externally, which I couldn't agree more on in all aspects of insurance and surety alike. Is there a moment during your time in surety so far that you're most proud of, Brianna?
I think making a name for yourself is huge because we're, one of the youngest people to join our team. And so our managers, our senior underwriters, they've got years of experience and plenty of relationships that they've grown themselves. So being able to be your own brand and meet people and, show them a different side of you that they haven't seen, or creating your own relationships with brokers or underwriters, I think that's the best part. So I also think with that comes, more business that you're sent over. And I think that's probably the most rewarding part of it is, you build those relationships out and then you get rewarded with, a piece of business here. Or, you never know if an underwriter becomes a broker. And, if you've got that strong relationship, it just makes everything, much more worthwhile.
Yeah, totally. It sounds like even though, you're just now a few years into your career, you started in a place where you're like, what the heck is surety? And even in your interview process, you're like, what in the world is this? And then because of the knowledge sharing and the great relationships that you're building, you're super confident and you are making a name for yourself in the industry. So it's nice to see that, that upward mobility is so achievable. I feel like it feels more tangible, whereas, we're just talking about surety, but this is a nice example of how it's applicable in real life, right?
Yeah, for me, the thing that I'm most proud of with my time at IAT is probably when I was given the opportunity to speak about surety at local colleges. Surety really is a hidden gem, and I know personally at my college we brushed right over it. So getting an opportunity to put that spotlight on surety, go in a little bit more detail is something that I'll forever cherish.
What would you want folks to know about surety who are coming out of college and looking for a new career? What do you talk to them about at these career fairs?
Yeah, the first thing I tell them is that surety's great. Surety companies have formal training programs and they're trying to teach you the craft. It's not that you're just thrown into the fire. I I'm going to call out IAT. IAT in particular, we spend a lot of time and resources training you up, pairing you with a mentor who's kind of the right chemistry as you, which I believe is key to success. I also think college students should know that it's a rewarding career. Our work protects the public. And overall in this industry, there's a lot of opportunity for growth if you're willing to put the work in.
That's great. I love that advice. I think that's wonderful. How about you, Brianna?
Yeah, I think with surety, a lot of people, almost everybody goes in knowing nothing. So I think it's really nice to know that you're not expected to know everything at first, and you've got, a team of support who's going to be able to teach you the ways little by little. And even then, like a year in, you're not going to know everything. And I think that's the most reassuring part, is that it takes so much time to really feel comfortable. And then even once you're comfortable, it takes a little bit more time for you to be confident in your underwriting, your marketing, all of it. And it just takes time. So I think that's the biggest thing for college students who are interested in it. It can be overwhelming and a little intimidating at first. But if you're somebody who likes a challenge and you're ambitious, I think it's worth learning more about the industry.
So I would love to know what you both enjoy most about your job so far and what stands out to you about this profession.
So for me, I do feel like, as I mentioned, it's a really unique role in that we're not doing the same thing every day. So I've had some really nice opportunities to travel to places I've never been, get a little bit more familiar with my territory. So California kind of spreads out pretty far. So I've been to cities that I never probably would have had it not been, going to meet a client. And I think that's probably the most unique thing. A lot of people are probably like, wait, you're doing that for work? And, like, it's just unique in the fact that who's really doing this as their job on a day to day. Like learning how to play golf, something that I probably would have never picked up had it not been for this role. Local events, we've had a holiday party at Chase Center, just unique things like that, that most people really wouldn't expect to happen on the job.
Yeah, for sure. Why is that we love playing golf in this space, this industry? I'm good at putt-putt, but that's about it. How about you, Ryan? Aside from the golf, what stands out to you?
Yeah, I think the thing about this job that stands out to me is, again, every day is different. In surety, we get the opportunity to wear many different hats. You know, we're conducting deep financial analysis, so we have a finance hat. We're reading contracts and arguing on language, so we have a legal hat. And we get to go out with clients and entertain, so we have somewhat of a sales hat. But wrapping that back up, personally, my favorite hat to wear is a golf hat because I love being out there.
So you didn't end up being a soccer star, but maybe you still have a shot at golf.
Oh no, I'm bad at both.
That's tough. Yeah, I'm not good at any sport, so I feel you there. I would love to know what some of the best advice is that you've gotten working in this industry so far in your career. Ryan, how about you give us the first go?
I think one of the best pieces of advice that I've got while working here is use your interpersonal skills to build those relationships. An example of this would be pick the phone up and call. Not only do you show that their business is important to you, you get that opportunity to feel out that phone call. When you just send an email to your clients, they can't always gauge that tone. Sometimes that message you want to come across doesn't come across like that. But when you call, not only do you get more time with your clients, you get that opportunity to get your message across. And if there's some rough edges, you can smooth them out.
I think that's really nice advice. That can be hard to do sometimes too. Like, I know often younger professionals that are just starting out of college, that's not really typically our communication style, right? So how do you get over that?
I think you just got to start by doing.
Yeah.
You get out there, get on the phone. You're going to mess it up a couple times, but you got to get knocked down to get back up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good advice. How about you, Brianna? Some advice that you think was helpful?
I think Ryan kind of gave me the perfect segue for this. Something I hear from a lot of brokers and my team itself, out of sight, out of mind. So if you're not making yourself visible and making your presence known, it makes it really hard for you to grow. It's just something that I hear quite often, and you really want to make the time, not just making a phone call and sending an email. Set some time up, take your brokers out to lunch, whatever it is that they may like. Maybe it's golf, maybe it's lunch, maybe it's coffee. Make sure you're out there making your presence known.
Yeah, that's awesome advice. And now finally, I'm going to end with something that's kind of funny. I feel like, I'm bringing up golf again, but I feel like that is a stigma that's kind of true for our industry. But now I kind of want to know something that's a misconception about the industry. What do people get wrong about surety or insurance in your mind?
I think one of the most common misconceptions is that surety's boring because it's owned by an insurance company. When in reality, we wear multiple different hats and no day's the same. It really keeps things interesting. And not to mention, it's a rewarding career. Our work helps to directly protect the public.
I love that you said that. And I love the Swiss Army knife analogy that you used at the top of this episode as well, because it's just rung true through everything that you've shared. So yeah, that's awesome. Brianna?
I agree. I mean, everybody thinks that surety's boring, and I wholeheartedly disagree. I think we've got a unique opportunity to do some fun stuff every now and then, but we also have a desk job, and we get our work done, but we also have fun.
Yeah, that's right. And I know that you guys have a really great dynamic within your teams, and you all get together to celebrate one another's success as well, which I think is wonderful. And I'm looking forward to seeing you both in a couple weeks to do just that with the rest of our surety team. So thank you both so much for spending time with us today. Folks who are interested in learning more about career opportunities at IAT can check us out online at iatinsurance.com in our Career Center. And we want to hear from you too, so be sure to reach out on social to let us know what you'd like to learn more about on the show, either from the lines of business that we serve or trends impacting our industry. So thank you for listening to What's Brewing, and we'll see you next time.
Providing insurance answers together is what we do best. Thanks for tuning in to the latest episode of What's Brewing. Until next time.